All right, let's dive straight into this explainer where we are going to uncover the hidden rules of garlic. I mean, we all know it's an absolute staple in the kitchen, right? But what you might not realize is that garlic is this crazy food that can be your greatest health ally or, if you aren't careful, a total stomach-destroying trap. So today we're going to figure out exactly how to master this ingredient once and for all.
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The garlic revelation. 2. 6 incredible health benefits. 3. Raw versus tube garlic. 4. The dangers of overeating. And finally, 5. Prep and storage mastery.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the garlic revelation, unlocking the double-edged sword. We really have to start with the truth about garlic. It isn't just some simple flavor enhancer. This superfood is literally so potent that they actually gave it to the workers building the pyramids in ancient Egypt just to keep their energy up during that grueling labor. But here's the catch. It is the ultimate double-edged sword. Because it's so intensely powerful, it acts almost like a medicine when you prep and portion it correctly. But honestly, if you just start eating it recklessly because you heard it's healthy, well, your stomach is absolutely going to pay a heavy price for that.
Moving right along to Section 2, 6 incredible health benefits, or what happens when you eat it right. When you actually wield this double-edged sword the right way, the physiological changes in your body are just phenomenal, and it starts right at your cardiovascular system.
The way this works perfectly illustrates the real magic of garlic. The sulfur compounds inside it, like allicin, actually help expand your blood vessels. Think of it like, loosening your grip on a squeezed water hose. The pressure just naturally drops. In clinical trials, folks with high blood pressure saw an average drop of 16.3 on the top and 9.3 on the bottom. But get this? The craziest part, if you already have normal blood pressure, garlic virtually ignores it. Literally no change.
Next up, we're looking at your blood sugar and cholesterol. Compounds like allicin and arginine actively block the enzymes that break down insulin. So it basically extends insulin's lifespan, giving it way more time to clear sugar out of your blood. And on top of that, these same compounds block lipid oxidation. Basically, they stop that bad LDL cholesterol from gunking up your blood vessels and forming dangerous plaques.
For benefit number 4, we are tackling chronic inflammation. So our bodies have this sort of inflammatory command center, right? It's called the NF-kappa B switch. And when it gets stuck in the on position, it causes cellular rust and premature aging. Garlic actually steps right in and physically turns off this runaway switch, stopping chronic inflammation cold while boosting your antioxidant enzymes. It is a real game changer.
For our 5th benefit, garlic is basically your ultimate cold fighter. It doesn't just passively sit there. It has these super strong antibacterial properties to fend off invading bacteria. But the chemistry here is so incredibly cool. When allicin fuses with vitamin B1, it creates this brand new compound called allethiamine. This combo boosts your white blood cells, aggressively fights off fatigue, and literally floods your whole body with energy and blood flow.
Now get a load of this massive number. In a study comparing over 800 colorectal cancer patients with healthy individuals, researchers found that eating allicin vegetables, like garlic, lowered the risk of colorectal cancer by up to a staggering 79%. 79. It acts like an ironclad defense shield, blocking free radicals from mutating your cells. All right, on to Section 3, raw versus tube garlic, unlocking the chemistry. Now, before you get way too excited and start putting convenient tube garlic on everything, like, your ice cream, we really need to understand the fundamental difference between raw and processed. Don't get me wrong, tube garlic is fantastic as a quick flavor enhancer when you're cooking, but because it has to sit on a grocery shelf for months, it usually contains additives like acidulants and thickeners. So if you want those incredible medicinal-level health benefits we just talked about, you absolutely need raw garlic. Why? Well, it comes down to a violent chemical reaction that only happens when you physically prepare it. Check this out. The ultimate health compound we keep mentioning, allicin. It doesn't actually exist in an untouched clove of garlic. No way. It is only born when you break the cell walls by chopping or crushing it, which forces 2 compounds, allicin and alliinase, to violently react with each other. So that signature super strong garlic smell, that's not just a smell, that is the exact chemical signal telling you that allicin has been successfully activated. Which brings us to Section 4, the dangers of overeating, the toxic trap. Look, with all this incredible chemical power at your fingertips, we've got to look at the dark side of this ingredient. Because, true power always comes with a warning label.
You might literally be asking yourself this exact question right now. I mean, it's totally human nature to think, hey, if a little is good, a whole lot must be great. But actually, scratch that. Treating garlic like a normal veggie and eating a massive pile of it will trigger an absolute emergency in your digestive system. Because garlic's antibacterial power is so exceptionally strong, it doesn't just target the bad guys. Eating too much of it, especially raw on an empty stomach, is going to cause some serious antibacterial collateral damage. It will literally slaughter your good gut bacteria, totally wreck your stomach lining, and leave you with severe pain, heartburn, and diarrhea. We're talking total gut self-destruction here. So how do we actually balance this? Well, to keep your gut totally safe while still maximizing every single health benefit, you need to strictly follow these limits. You should have an absolute maximum of 1 raw clove a day. That's it. Now, if you're cooking the garlic, you can safely bump that up to 2 or maybe 3 cloves per day. Finally, let's dive into Section 5, Prep and Storage Mastery, the final hacks. We're going to look at exactly how to prepare, choose, and store your garlic. These are basically the final rules you need to squeeze out 100% of its benefits without wasting a single clove. Okay, pay super close attention to this prep flow. If you take a whole clove and just toss it straight into a blazing hot frying pan, that high heat destroys the allicin before it even has a chance to form. What you must do is crush or chop it, let it sit on your cutting board for just a minute or two to let that chemical reaction happen, and only then cook it gently. And when you're standing right there in the produce aisle, keep these guidelines in mind. You want to pick bulbs that feel heavy for their size, are rock solid to the touch, and have dry, white skin. Definitely avoid anything that feels light, has a damp or kind of mushy texture, or shows dark spots. You are looking for a densely packed powerhouse of nutrients. Now, storage is actually highly seasonal. Garlic sprouts really quickly if you neglect it. So during those cool, breezy months, just keep it in a breathable net or a paper bag at room temperature. But when that humid, sticky summer weather hits, mold becomes your absolute worst enemy. You'll want to wrap the bulbs in newspaper or paper towels, put them in a plastic bag, and just hide them away in the fridge. And here is a brilliantly simple hack to make your garlic last practically forever while saving you tons of prep time. Break the bulb into individual cloves and just freeze them completely unpeeled. When you need one for dinner, just take it out, soak it in a little bit of water for a moment, and I kid you not, the skin will slide right off perfectly. The whole shebang, zero effort. So we've covered the hidden rules, the incredible internal reactions, and the really dangerous pitfalls of this powerful ingredient. Now that you know exactly how to activate the allicin and protect your gut, how are you going to change your cooking habits to harness the true medicinal power of garlic tonight? Thanks so much for exploring this with us, and we'll see you in the next explainer.